All right. How mad are you guys right
Ha!
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super surprised.
I was gonna say either you guys are gonna love this, you're gonna be really pissed at us.
Ha!
Hey everybody, this is Sari.
And this is Sean.
And we're the Simpsons siblings.
Part 2.
Part 2. So we're talking about Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2, Season 7, Episode 1, written by Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, directed by Wes Archer, originally aired September 17th, 1995, guest star Tito Puente as himself. We once again have Alísa and Moth.
Our guest stars.
Our guest stars.
How?
We couldn't get Tito Puente.
Oh, I see.
tried.
I see how it is.
And we just, 30 seconds ago, finished watching the end of the second part.
Yeah, the Patreons will be able to hear the whole thing of us watching it together.
Surprise.
It's a surprise. Guess who shot Mr. Burns?
Huh.
It was the baby. Which the thing I love is that, was that you, Alísa, who said,
Yeah.
or was that Moth who said the only two people it couldn't possibly be?
Right, because it's like that was who they zoomed in on that was there that they showed was around. But I guess then they panned to Marge walking around, so I guess we didn't really see that.
Uh-huh.
Didn't see Maggie.
The other thing is you kept repeating that shot of when he says, "Who has the guts to stop me?"
Yeah.
Somebody does not look away.
Really?
And it's Maggie.
I guess in my head it didn't even cross my mind to look at the baby.
She has this really angry look, and something I never caught until the last time I watched this was her reaction to Bart getting hit by the oil.
Yeah, she was very panicky.
Yeah, she was very upset by that.
And they show earlier in the episode her cuddling with the pets. It's kind of in the background, but she's very concerned about.
We know from previous episodes that she's super smart, very aware.
Yeah.
So she would know what she's doing.
Something I wrote down. Did Maggie really shoot the gun, or did it just fall and fire on its own?
Right. I was curious about that too, on if she actually pulled the trigger or if it just fell and fired.
It did land with the trigger on her fingers.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but I feel like in most cases, just a gun dropping is going to lead to it firing. There's all the safety stuff with it.
I guess that's true.
It depends on the guns and if the safety is on.
Yeah, and I don't know if Mr. Burns...
That looked like a revolver, so it might not have had many safeties.
Mr. Burns is super old. He might have had a super old gun.
Yeah.
It's interesting, too, just how much they try to convince you that it's Smithers, especially in the first half is Smithers and the second half is Homer.
Well, I remember, too, there was the special a few years later that went into this episode a bit more. And they talked about how they'd animated a couple of different endings to kind of even throw the animators off.
Yeah.
And one of the things was that the way he landed on the sundial could be W and S for Waylon Smithers.
Yeah, or it could have been M and S for Maggie Simpson, so it really could have worked either way.
I remember Troy McClure said, but in that case, you'd have to ignore the Simpson DNA.
Yeah.
And he just looked at the camera very ominously, with events that were happening at the time.
Yes. Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, with O.J. Simpson.
Oh, I know he was referencing O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense now.
Huh.
Oh, we're talking about a different episode. We're jumping all over the place.
Okay. I was like, I don't understand the
You're
connection.
Yeah, there's a clip show episode that they do.
That's almost like a special features episode where they talk about these kind of things. Should we talk about some other little snippets from the episode?
Yeah.
When he wakes up from the coma, that all he can say is Homer Simpson, and then when he finally can talk again, he doesn't know his name.
It's
again.
Buried in his subconscious, but it cannot be transferred to his conscious.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Also, it made sense that there were so many flashbacks, considering I never realized the time skip here, that the first part aired in, was it April or May? And then the second part aired in September. Like, people had to wait a long time for this.
And if you didn't record this on a VHS tape, you probably
Right.
didn't. Well, they might have
Mhm.
showed it again before, but you couldn't rewatch it over and over again for clues like
Yeah.
you could now.
I love the muffler guy so much, where Mr. Smithers is just like breaking down in the middle of the sidewalk,
With
and
a
this
gun.
muffler guy just kind of puts a coupon in his pocket. Oh my
I
god.
just love the return of the like wooden-legged old guy who just like somehow rams the police vehicle
I love him so
drive-through.
much.
This old
I was
car.
so confused about what was happening there. Like, just what? You just okay.
It all happens very fast too. Like he's just barely been arrested
Yeah.
when they're going through that drive-through.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed that was kind of odd was, theoretically, Mr. Burns was shot just a few days ago because he was in the hospital.
Mm.
But when they go to see Jasper at the retirement home, it's all fixed again. Stand in good state.
Oh yeah, because the retirement home was destroyed.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. Wow.
Was it just a few days though? Because I thought it implied that he was in a coma,
Oh, that's true. He was in a
Maybe.
coma.
Yeah, we guess we don't really know exactly how
and
much
then
time.
he
Yeah.
woke up from the coma and could only say Homer Simpson.
Yeah, I bet. So it's kind of just like an undefined amount of time.
Yeah.
Something that always confused me as a kid was Homer saying, like, I'm tired of these dang rickets. And then he walks weird. I had to look that up.
Yeah.
It's a disease caused by vitamin D deficiency, characterized by imperfect calcification, softening, and distortion of the bones, typically resulting in bow legs.
And they wouldn't be getting their vitamin D if they're not getting enough
Not
sunlight.
getting the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that probably would have taken a couple months to go
That's
into
a-
effect. So maybe there is a bit of a
I
gap.
actually never understood that part, so.
Yeah, I was always like, what the heck's Homer doing?
I really didn't either. It did make me giggle though the way he was walking.
Yes.
Oh,
For-
after we're done with this, we need to watch the Dank-Miss real quick of the Dinner with Friends, Dinner Alone.
Yes.
Yes, which is also one of my favorite scenes of Mo getting the lie detector test.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
yeah. Oh.
But there's so much, like, I love too that they mentioned twice the taking candy from a baby in
Mhm,
the first episode,
mhm.
and then this episode they mention again taking
Mhm.
candy from a baby.
So they're like, this. They were trying to imply this isn't just like a throwaway joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Also, like Maggie must have some extreme damn strength.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they establish that a little bit in other episodes. Maggie's
Right.
like a boss.
Inhumanely strong.
Yes.
I think that's.
Oh,
Are you
boss.
talking about with Burns not being able to take the candy?
Oh,
Yeah.
some of that is because Burns is just really weak.
Yeah, because
Well,
there's.
yeah,
it's
I
established in other episodes too that he's super weak. Like the fortune cookie, he can't pick it up because there's a piece of paper inside.
Yeah,
Mm.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because he's what 108.
and he's got like a baseball bat, and he's just like,
Yeah.
yeah. I loved watching the Senior Burns song with subtitles because I never knew most of what that was.
Yeah.
And I love how somehow that's supposed to make them think that he isn't a suspect when he's like basically saying that he wants him to die.
Well, it's good to
Love
know
that
if I
whole
ever
thing.
decide to commit a crime, I'll write a song about it.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, "Oh, this is catchy, so you're off the hook."
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Duh.
And Chief Wiggum's like Fever Dream, which is like a Twin Peaks ripoff. I've never seen Twin Peaks, but I know that that's supposed to be a spoof of that.
What I like about that one too is that's all in Wiggum's head,
Yeah.
and even he's so slow that Lisa in his dreams, created by his mind, gets upset at him for not catching. Like his subconscious hates
He
him
still
too.
can't catch on. It all kind of comes together when Smithers gives the whole reward for Dead or Alive, Homer Simpson.
Wiggum wants a piece of that action too.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm in on this too. Yeah. I feel like we're kind of going back to where we started.
Yeah, this episode it's interesting too. Like watching again, about a third of it is recaps.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of it is. And just kind of Lisa telegraphing a lot of it. Like she actually has a poster board with the suspects and then go through them one by one.
Yeah. Which I wonder how she narrowed down to just 4 people.
Yeah, well, and she definitely had some biases too, because she didn't include her family members and she didn't include Tito Puente.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even with how smart she is, she still has her own biases.
Right.
Or like Homer said, as your father, I can see that you're both potential
Both.
murderers.
I like that line a lot. That was really funny.
He's an equal opportunity father.
Yeah. They're just like arguing over who could be a murderer. It's a casual dinner conversation.
But it's just fun watching, because I feel like the whole town, everybody suspects everybody.
Mhm.
And there's just, until this is solved, I feel like there's this underlying tension
Yeah.
between everybody, even like the Simpsons just amongst themselves at home.
Yeah.
They're all accusing each other, second guessing everything.
And Marge being protective of all of them. And then at the end saying, you know, no one's going to arrest a baby. He's like, well, maybe in Texas.
Maybe Texas, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Man.
And there's just a lot of like interconnecting little facts too.
Yeah.
Like it's just a very tightly woven story.
Mhm.
Like I was noticing too when they have flashbacks at Moe's Tavern, they talked about Smithers watching Part of My Zinger on Comedy Central, and in the bar while they're talking on the TV in the background is a commercial for Part of My Zinger with the Comedy Central logo. So it's just kind of like there's little details, and that even is something that if you're catching that as a very, very subtle clue, even that is a red herring.
Yeah.
So it's like you're like, oh, it must be important because it's so hidden, but nope, it's just misleading you.
Yeah.
Because they knew people would be hyper analyzing every single frame of this.
Yeah. I also looked up, I don't think there is such a thing as Pardon My Zinger.
Are you only getting Simpsons results?
Yeah. I guess it's used as like a figure of speech, but yeah, I think we've got this.
Yeah, you guys definitely sound surprised.
We're like, oh god, are they gonna be mad at us?
No, it wasn't. I truly didn't expect it. Like it's now that I look back, it's like that's very on brand for The Simpsons, I think. But like I really wasn't expecting the baby.
Yeah.
Like at all, I was like, yeah.
Nice.
I remember too, like where they show all the things that the animators did to kind of throw even the internal people off. I think one of them was Santa's little helper with the gun in his mouth.
Yeah. And he's just firing it. He's still got the cone on and everything,
Honestly,
firing the gun.
That would have been hilarious. I personally wish it was the dog.
Same.
They should have kept that.
They should have kept that one. It would have been great.
They also, so there's a YouTuber we watch called Real Gems, and he has like 4 or 5 different videos on like who else it could be.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential stuff.
And how like Mr. Burns might have said that to like cover up for someone. And you know, it's all just random conspiracy theories.
Do you think he said that to cover up for
I think it probably was Mag. But
Smithers, sorry, I forgot that.
My favorite theory is that Marge did it. And he actually has a way that it could work with her like walking out and saying, "Where is everybody?" But
interesting.
One thing I did notice something though in the fake ending that they used to like keep the animators and such off the actual ending. Smithers said something along the lines of, "But I was busy that night," or "Wasn't I busy that night?"
Oh, I think he meant like he was busy shooting up a bunch of people because like he shot Jasper first.
Well, no, because he was busy. He was actually busy watching Comedy Central.
So how?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
See,
is he saying that he's like rushing all this to get back?
I don't.
Well, see, I took it as he was busy, as in like, because he shot 2 people that night,
And then had to run home and
and then
watch the
had to run
show.
home and watch the show. But now what
Yeah.
you guys are saying, that's interesting too.
Yeah,
it
I
could be
mean, it's
taken
kind
as
of like making it self-aware of its own plot hole.
Yeah.
either like,
like
an exclamation that, hey, I was busy that night, or a
Yeah.
question, oh, I was
Yeah.
busy that night.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fair.
I this is just my theory, but I kind of see it as like the writers throwing that into for the animators, like, hey, this is a little joke. You might not get it now,
Ah,
but this is
okay.
where we're actually going with it. This is to keep you
Uh-huh.
off the trail.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
That's
I'm
fair.
I'm also kind of seeing like Maggie shooting Mr. Burns almost as like a symbol that he's like so powerful that him cutting off their sunlight is almost like him taking taking a candy from a baby,
Mm.
and that the baby, as in the
Wins.
townspeople, are unable to defend themselves, but then actually they are,
Okay.
and that maybe you shouldn't be stepping on those you see underneath you too much because sometimes they can fight back.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what they were going for, but
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of
It's
just
good
thought of it.
I like that.
I like
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Definitely what I wasn't expecting that.
I feel like that was their main job, was to make an ending that was unexpected.
Yeah.
Like in the end of the day, if you would have been like, "Oh, of course," then
Then it's
nobody would
not
have been happy.
right. It's not nearly as fun as just like, LOL, it was the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more fun because if it would have been like kind of a more obvious thing, it would have been at the end when it came out. Oh, 20% of the country figured this out, but
Yeah.
no, it was 0.2% of the country figured this out.
Isn't there like a picture? Isn't there like a picture of like the odds in Vegas that night of who shot him?
Oh my god.
Was there?
Yeah, look up who shot Mr. Burns Vegas odds, because I saw it circulating the Simpsons Twitter for a while. If you look at the images, I know that there's a. Yeah, there we go. The Mirage suspect shooting of Montgomery Burns. Maggie Simpson's all the way at the bottom.
Maggie Simpson paid out 70-1.
Wow.
That would have been nice.
That's why I thought it was Krusty. That was where I went with my theory, because I was like, all these are too
Krusty-
obvious.
Mhm.
Krusty was third place, so top was Homer Simpson, Waylon
Wow.
Smithers second, Krusty the Clown third.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that was a thing.
Yep. Wow.
That's really cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you put $100 on Maggie Simpson,
Yeah. There you
that
go.
would be what, $7,000 that you win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go back in time. There we go.
This one too goes a bit lower. Millhouse, Otto the school bus driver, odds are 100-1.
Oh my god.
That would have been funny.
What's that one say?
Martin.
Martin.
I think.
Oh, Martin isn't even in this episode, is he?
No, I don't think he shows up.
That actually would have been funny if there was someone who shot him that wasn't even really present in the episode.
Yeah.
Like it was
He
just
shows
something
up.
random. Like he just wanted to shoot him.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I appreciate you guys joining us for this.
Of course. Thank
Yeah,
you
it was a lot of
again
fun.
for having us. This was a lot of fun.
It's
It
really
was so
hard.
much fun.
I don't know when in life we'll ever be able to hear someone reacting in person live to the Who Shot Mr. Burns.
I know. I know. It's a one in a kajillion thing.
It's a 1 in 70 chance.
It's a 1 in 70 chance.
There you go.
Aw. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Big thanks to Timothy Burleson, our patron saint. If you want to learn how to support us on Patreon, go to patreon.com/SimpsonsSibs. We got a lot of extra stuff. And we're going to be doing a Twitter poll to figure out which episode we're going to do for our season finale this year. We're going to have a couple of summer-themed episodes to choose from. So if you want to be involved in that poll, check us out on twitter.com/SimpsonsSibs. Join us next time as we discuss Home Alone, Season 3, Episode 15. Watch the episode before you listen to get the full experience. And once again, thank you to Alísa and Moth for joining us. And until next time, bye!
Bye, everybody.